Nice to see you. If you'd been round Argath that balmy weekend, you'd have heard me ask Lisa, yourself. We were squatting on Hume Crescents then. We've been journeying down what you might call one of life's hard pathways for ages. 5 minutes away from us was the Hacienda nightclub, or the Hass, as it got called. Them days, the Manchester acid house scene in there was full on. Some months before, I'd been released from prison. While I was away, they cut our electricity off. So I booted in the door of a vacant flat on the 4th floor. Problem solved. I bought loads of speed because I wanted to mark the occasion of just being freed. Speed always brought them hidden talents out of me. Like my super creative handyman skills. No job was too big or small. You get me? Lisa, I'm going to make our new place ace. So the vibes, like down the ass. The council had boarded up the windows, but I left it like that to block out the light. I painted 2 massive industrial lines on the boards outside, same as those that were across the beams on the Ass's dance floor. I put them across all the doors, inside too. I got some wood out of a skip and made a shelf out of it to put my second-hand hi-fi separates on. And before long, the handyman skills of mine had kicked right in, like proper peaking. Because by then, there's nothing I couldn't make with a hammer, a saw, and a high-speed Black & Decker drill. So do you know what I did? I got busy building a set of beefy-sounding speakers. I got the bass units, flare downs, and bullet tweeters from Maplin. Well, to be honest with you, a shoplifter did. I got the material for the speaker boxes from in the kitchens of empty flats. I hammered out 12 countertops. You should have seen them when they were done. They were 5 foot tall and nearly as deep. Because the more depth you have, the more bass you get. So you feel that Gale 4 swing type bass in your face. I got so much into house music that bit by bit, I bagged some home studio recording kit and started making it myself. It sounded well ropey. It came to the point where I'd been celebrating getting out of prison for 274 days and nights. I've never done things by halves. Then that balmy weekend landed. There was a buzz down the ass, and we was in Argath. You can guess I was caught up in the music, so my head was bobbing away, locked into a groove that I'd made on my 808 drum machine. To be fair, I'd been locked into that same groove for a fortnight. You should have seen me look like a pulsating mad scientist with a bucket hat on. Next minute, who do you think you are there, you faffing around with that music? Did you hear that then, Lise? Hear what? That woman shouting came from outside. Didn't hear anyone shouting, Baz. Your head must be going. She was right, because within no time flat, I was hearing loads of shouts coming from everywhere. In fact, after a bit, my head went that much, I finished up on a psychiatric ward. And there wasn't anything they could do, because my head was so far gone. Talk about hard pathways. Man, mine couldn't have become more brutal. How about yours? I don't think for a minute it's always been dead cushy, has it? Because I'm sure that along the way there's been stages when we've all found ourselves journeying down one of life's hard pathways. Ain't that the truth? Did you know that there's a man in the Bible who made music too? Well, there was. He was a real maestro, though, not like me. He put this lyric to a tune. This is something that he figured out way back when. Even the hard pathways overflow with abundance, which refers to them getting food in places where they didn't expect it. What can we figure out from our hard pathways for now then? How about we go take a gander to get going? Hard pathways don't have to set your limits. Raise your hand if you drive a car. Have you ever done more than 30 in a 30 zone? Or more than 40 in a 40 zone? Or even more than 70 in a 70 zone? You rebel, you. Have you ever been flashed by a speed camera and had points put on your license? Have you ever totted up that many points that you got banned? If you have, join the club. The club that I'm a gold member of, because it's happened to me not once, not twice, but 3 times. Raise your hand if you don't feel as guilty now. One time before I got banned, I used what you might call a workaround that we did when it was paper licenses. Do you remember them? Some of you? Before I went to court, I reported that I'd lost my license and ordered a duplicate. So when they took mine off me, I had another one to use. That's one way to dodge a driving ban. This was perfect if you were good at playing innocent for those times when you got pulled over and they asked to see your license. Unless they radioed in, that is, then you'd have to do a different workaround, like bomb it off around the copper's car in front of you. Nowadays, though, I use a legit workaround to dodge a ban. I press the speed limit button in my car. Just shows you how reformed I am. Have you ever heard of them? I hadn't until I got my most recent car. Of course you can drive with it off, but because I do like loads and loads of miles, I often have mine turned on, especially when I'm doing my big trips. The way that it works is that there's a sensor in the middle of the windscreen at the top that picks up the speed limits from the signs on the side of the road, which sends a signal to the engine to control it. So say I drive through a 30, a 40, or a 70 zone in the lights. I can't go above them since the limiter on my car has been set at those limits to keep me back. It's just like us this, you know. Because sometimes those tough times we go through can set those limits on us that keep us back. Maybe this has happened to you. Listen, listen, listen. Our pathways don't have to set your limits. A bloke in the book of books, Paul, he'd had a tough time or two. But with God pitching in, he was able to say, I've forgotten what is behind me and I press hard to what is ahead of me. This was Tina, my wife's take on it too. Tina's slim, loyal, and from South London. Her beginnings were pretty hard, but this didn't set limits on her. She got a degree. She became a manager. And to top them off, she got to marry me. So she's defo not being kept back then. What about you? Maybe you got off to a bad start. Maybe you've been hurt dead deep by somebody you trusted. Maybe you found yourself in a dark place and this has set limits on you. Listen, whatever has done that to you, God can do what's needed to take those limits off you. This is what we might call his kind of workaround. And unlike mine, his kind is always 100% legit. Listen, our pathways don't have to set your limits. That balmy weekend had landed. There was a buzz down the ass and we was in our gaff. Did you hear that then, Lise? Our pathways don't have to set your limits. And to add to that, our pathways can be the making of you. You had to be in those stacked chairs in the corner of that chapel to catch what Chappie said to me. It was August 23. And as per during that month, I was down the south of England doing a bunch of jails. One of them is a well-known Victorian-type prison in central London that I've been speaking in for a while. This time round, though, they planned for me to do two groups. One was the regular prisoners, and the other was the lads from the recovery wing, which was a first for me in there. The first session was dead informal. We just sat round tables that had been set up in like an horseshoe shape, so we were facing each other. I just did a short talk about some of the mad days I've been through as a way of setting things up for a conversation to go a bit deeper. When we got chatting, it turned out that some of them got right into it, if you know what I'm saying. I think that's why they come. One of them had grey locks, green eyes and silvering glasses on. He did most of talking. Then there was a stocky Polish guy with a scar on his face. He chipped in quite a bit as well. And then there was a young black lad who was a proper thinker. He came out with some right pearlers. There were some others who jumped in too. You should have heard the chatter that day. There was more wisdom flying around than there is at Oxford University. Them debating bods there with their criminology PhDs. Nothing on these. Trust me. But there was one serious-faced, mixed-raced older boy sat there who stayed silent. This was Chappie, the chapel orderly. When we'd all finished, everybody went back to the wings apart from him. He went and started unstacking chairs to get set up for the next lot that were coming in because they were expecting a bigger group. So I went over to help. How you doing, mate? Doing all right. Gutted to be back in here, though, Baz. I'm in for a smash and grab this time on a jeweller's in the East End. Why, what happened, man? Well, when I got out last time, I stayed on the straight and narrow. Well, then my mum got ill, and I owed her, because she was always there for me. So I nicked a car and went on a spree. And they got me, man, didn't they? Then he goes, do you know before when you lot were batting stuff about, I just stayed stum. I always do. But what I wanted to say, if you'd not been through all that madness, you couldn't do what you're doing now. Because it's like all that has shaped you, man. And it. Do you know, I doubt if he could have said anything more true. Listen, our pathways can be the making of you. That bloke, him who'd had a tough time or two, he wrote this when he was in a jail in Rome. Trouble produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. For me, once God pitched in, this became massive. How's it with you then? Maybe you're going through something right now. It could be that you've been through a few rough patches back when. Maybe there's been some shaping going on for something you could do. Who knows? Like there was me. Listen, our pathways can be the making of you. That balmy weekend had landed. There was a buzz down the ass and we was in our gaff. Did you hear that then, Lise? Our pathways don't have to set your limits. They can be the making of you, and our pathways can get changed up. Let me take you to the time one morning when I was sat with Ali McPhee. Because that's when he told me about the journey he'd been on and how he's seen this happen firsthand. This is how he put it. I was born on the south side of Glasgow, Baz. As a kid, even though I knew I was loved, there was always chaos in the background because my dad was a bit of a gangster. He kept guns and knives in the house, and there was always lots of drinking going on. When I was 5, my mum and dad got divorced, so I went to live with my gran and granddad, who lived next door in the flats on the top floor. I really struggled at school, and I was constantly getting into trouble. The teachers would tell me, "You're never going to change. You're a waste of space. You're never going to amount to anything." I hated it, Baz. So I used to bunk off and go to the arcades in town. It was in my last year of secondary school when I got into football, and it was absolute bedlam. Drinking, fighting, looting shops and stuff. The first time I smoked hash was in my mate's house. That night, we got into a fight outside the mini market, and I got stabbed twice in the leg and lost 2 pints of blood. I was 17 when the rave scene started, Baz. I had my first tea in Furry Murray's nightclub. I loved it. I ended up selling them. I sold E's and weed. I did a bit of fraud too. I even got a jail sentence for petrol bombing an house. Heroin was something else I started taking, and then I got into crack. That brought me to my knees quicker than Brown did, though. It's like for me, Baz, I'd gone down this pathway, and things just kept getting more and more chaotic. Then, I was in my mate's flat once, and there was a Bible on the table. So I picked it up and opened it, and some of the words jumped out and hit me. Man, it's as though God was saying, these were written for you, Ali. That week, I met this Christian guy, and he prayed for me, and I felt this peace. It's as if I knew that everything was going to be all right. And then he went. And after that, it seemed like the life I was living got changed up. I came off heroin and crack without any withdrawals. I went back into education and got a professional accountancy qualification. My parents had recently passed away. Then I read in the Bible that God can restore things for us. And I really struggled with that, Baz. To be honest, I thought, how's he going to restore that? But then I met Claire. And I realized that this was God restoring my family circle. Because when we got married, her mum and dad became my mum and dad. They're like the parents I've always wanted. And I've got friends now, the kind I used to wish for, but before I could never have because of the lifestyle that I was living. people trust me these days as well, Baz. And I've got a load of responsibilities. Then they reeled him off to me. He's an accountant for an housing association. He's on different management committees. He's the trustee for a charity in England called The Walk. He's even got his own accountancy business as a side hustle. And more recently, he started speaking in jails and stuff. And then he went, I never imagined that I could achieve all that I've achieved. Do you see what's doable with God pitching in? Listen, our pathways can get changed up. Someone in the Bible who'd been a fighter but was now getting on in years said this to God when he was up against it. Though you've allowed me to see troubles, many and bitter, you will restore my life. What about the pathway you've gone down? Have you ever been told, you're never going to change? You're a waste of space. You're never going to amount to anything. Have you got things in your life that need to be restored? Maybe you've never imagined what you could achieve. Listen, our pathways can get changed up. That balmy weekend had landed. There was a buzz down the arse and we was in our gaff. Did you hear that then, Lise? Our pathways don't have to set your limits. They can be the making of you. They can get changed up. And alongside these, our pathways are where you can begin again. Just imagine for a minute that you're lying on a single bed in a 6x4 room in a hostel. You've got a portable telly on the table next to you, and you're that brassic, you can only afford 2 channels, on and off. And you're in there because you've had to leave your own town rapid since it's been deemed too unsafe to stay. For you anyway, because there's a local crew after you. Not the best spot to find yourself in, is it? Well, I was in it. If you want to learn a little bit more about that phase of my journey, it just so happens that there's some books in the foyer. Once an addict, when my book came out in 2007, we started a project to give a copy of that to every single prisoner in the United Kingdom. Right now, 94,000 prisoners are behind bars. In the UK, we've sent 55,000 copies of that out, free of charge, into prisons. And I've said this in here before, and some people have heard this, but for every 1 copy somebody buys, we then send 2 into prisons for free. So you're supporting books going into prisons if you buy a copy of my book. There's also some DVDs on there, like what people don't watch DVDs these days. Well, a few people do, but what we've made them now is that you can download them onto your device and watch them on a device and give the DVD away to someone who's got it, talk stuff. Again, all the proceeds from that goes into the charity that I run to help us do the prisons work. It's just a small financial stream. And I just want to pause right now to say this to you guys. Can I thank you big time, sincerely from the bottom of my heart for the support that you give Proclaim Trust? Because I was with Ian on Friday. I've been coming here since 2011. It's usually about once every 18 months. And I'm the worst fundraiser in the world. Put me in front of a bunch of killers and murderers with a microphone or without a microphone, I'm fine. But fundraising... So the support that you give us for Fixed, which we do every year, we've already got that in planning for this year. It's always the last Saturday in September, is brilliant. And the regular support on a monthly basis. So we've heard of some of the stuff that King supports a little bit, just one project, but there's been a mention that we do stuff overseas. Well, I'm a missionary to people in the United Kingdom. Last year, I spoke in 59 jails. We didn't get any finance from any of those jails, maybe one or two, petrol money. And that's fine, because we don't want to put a price on it. But because we get supported from places like you and people like you, it helps us do all that work. So you're supporting me as a missionary in the United Kingdom. So I just want to say thank you sincerely. And I've always said this, and I'm going to say it now. This is the only home church, away from home church, that I would call an home church. I speak in dozens of churches, can be obviously about 100 churches every year, plus all the prisons. But I've always considered this to be my home church, away from home church. And I remember walking in yesterday, and one of the men said, "Oh, they're working you really hard this weekend, aren't they, Baz?" So I had a breakfast and then some training, and then today and tonight. And I thought, and I'd actually said, not really. Not compared to those old days. This is I say easy, I'm not saying it's, you know what I'm saying? It was like 3 services, evening, Friday, training Saturday afternoon, bang, 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 bang. But we did it, and those days. But here we are now, look at this. So, thank you, sincerely. On the day that I had to do that quick getaway, I went into a phone booth in Manchester Victoria train station, and I picked up a yellow phone directory. Raise your hand if you remember them. A side note for you young ones, this is where we used to get our contact numbers from before Yahoo, Bing, or Google. H, hostels. S, Salvation Army. Rochdale. That'll do. 01706, beep, 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 beep. I stayed in hostels before, so I knew the score. But this one proved to be decent. Everyone in there was all right, apart from Minging Feet Mike. It was a young kid with yellow teeth who was dead cocky. And he absolutely reeked. You could, from miles away, his room was just across from mine. One afternoon, I was lying on my bed, just chilling. Then, ice, ice, baby, ding, 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 ding. Ice, ice, baby, ding, 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 ding. And it was really loud. So, it was coming from Minging Feet Mike's. Mate, knock. He opened his door. Mate, will you just turn your music down a bit? Nice one. And then, ice, ice, baby, ding, 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 ding. Ice, ice, baby. It was even louder. So I jumped up. Bang, 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 bang. Turn your music down. I'll go back into mine, try to stay calm. Next minute. Vanilla ice, ice, baby. Even louder. Oh, for those of you who don't know who Vanilla Ice is a rubbish white rapper who's so bad, it tip even butter over the edge. Right, that's it. I'll give him some Vanilla Ice. So I steamed out. Bang, bang, bang. He opened his door just a bit. So I barged in. Boom. Made physical contact with him. Quite a bit. To soften it for the room. Grabbed hold of his ghetto blaster. Right, if you won't turn it down, I will. Smash, smash, smash. That's what I think of your Vanilla Ice. Smash, 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 baby. Once I was sure I'd muted his music, like smashed to smithereens sure, I went back into mine. Oh, that's better. if I just had my Technics turntables with me now, I'd play some proper tunes, Waka Wong, Chocka Chong. 5 minutes later, my door goes. So, it was Colin, my project worker. I'm going to have to ask you to leave now. Why, Cole? Because you've just beat the living daylights out of Mike, that's why. He's in a right state downstairs. He'd only gone down and grasped me up, hadn't he? I felt like sniffing him out to find him to give him more aggro, but I just decided to go. Do you know the funny thing is, even though Colin showed me the door, I didn't mind him because he was straight talking, big-hearted, and he was always fair with us. Actually, these days, he manages his own Salvation Army hostel, and he invites me to speak in it every year. I was in 8 weeks ago. Before I spoke, he said, it's always good to have Barry in, because we go way back to when he was a resident in another hostel that I worked in. And then he goes, he hit rock bottom, but then he started over, and I can vouch for him. Listen, hard pathways are where you can begin again. The first truth that I learned from the Bible right from the get-go was that I'm a new creation. The old has gone and the new has come. Let me show you just in a snippet how this came into play. 2,000 years ago, 2,000 miles away, God who flung the stars into space, God who spoke the universe into being, he put skin on, he became a man, he came to this earth and he was tempted just like you, but he resisted. And at the age of 33, he allowed himself to be nailed to a cross. You see, he journeyed down his own hard pathway. So he knows, you know. He knows, he's been through it. But he ended up hanging up there. Imagine how tough that was. That was for you, though. Because he died on that cross to pay the price for your faults, for your flaws, and for your failures. He stood in so that you can begin again. But before that can take place, it falls on you to give the okay. When you drive lots of miles like I do, I found that taking little breaks does you good. From time to time when I'm home, I'll use taxis and trams to change my rhythm, which helps me chill a bit. And it reduces the risk of getting ban number 4. Not long ago, me and Tina went to a restaurant for an early tea. That means dinner if you're posh. We got a taxi there, had some food and got a taxi back. We got out and rushed to the front door because it was chucking down. Tea? I've not got my key. You must have, Barry. Check all your pockets. They're not there, T. She wasn't happy. It was our anniversary as well. So you can imagine, that didn't help. I rang the restaurant, no keys. I rang the taxi firm, no keys. So then I rang the local housebreaker. Not the criminal kind, the legal kind, them that are DBS checked and who pay taxes. While I was chatting, Tina gets on her phone. Are you sure the drivers have found no keys? Can you ask them to check again, please? After waiting in the wet for what seemed like a week, the local legal housebreaker turns up with his drill. He's at the door. He's just about to start drilling. We're stood behind him, absolutely soaking wet. And Tina's phone goes. Hello? Oh, yeah, great. Oh, brilliant. Stop! The driver's got the keys. He's bringing them round. Whew. You should have seen how relieved we were when he pulled up. in our street and passed me those keys. Talk about relieved. When we got in, we looked like two drowned rats with puffer jackets on. Happy anniversary, Tina. I'll leave it to you ladies to come up with the reply. Look, God won't call the local legal housebreaker out to drill the lock on your door, because he'd rather hold on for you. There's a picture of him in the good book being at your door. You see, he just hangs around there dead patient-like until the day you give the okay and say, here's my key, now you can gain entry. But it falls on you. It falls on you. It falls on you to give the okay. So, I'm going to wrap this up now at the place where we set out. That squat on the bull rings. Our new place that I'd made ace. It was a Friday, so I was caught up in the music. My head was bobbing away, locked into a groove that I'd been locked into for days and days. Next minute, who do you think you are there, you faffing around with that music? Talk about hard pathways. Man, mine had got brutal. And I'm sure that along the way, there's been stages when we've all found ourselves journeying down one of life's hard pathways. So I've just taken a gander at them to figure out some thoughts for now. Please stand if you're able. No going outside for a smoke just yet. Leanne. Listen up. Listen up. Listen up. Right now, God wants to pitch in. He's at your door. But you need to give the okay and say, here's my key. Now you can gain entry. So I'm going to pray a prayer. I'm going to invite two groups of people to pray this prayer. Those in this room, you have never given God your key before so that he can gain access to your life. It could be that you've been attending this church, enjoying the music, which is stunning, by the way. Enjoying meeting people, enjoying this vibe, but you've never given God your key so that you can gain entry. It could be that you've been brought by somebody today and you didn't know what to expect. You didn't expect church to be like this. You're here for a reason. God's at your door. You need to give him the key. You need to give him the okay so that he can gain entry. It could be that you're a family member of somebody who brings you here and you're not really getting it. You're just coming to please your family member. Listen, God's outside your door today. You need to start your own faith journey. Give God the key so that you can gain entry. First group of people, those people in this room, all over this room, you've never prayed a prayer, you've never given God consent to come in. You're going to pray this prayer to give God your key so that you can step into your story today. The second group of people, those people, you've started a faith journey at some point in the past. And you've been going, but right now, man, your journey is hard. And you're not living the way you should be. Do you know there's no condemnation for you, by the way? But I want to say to you, if that's you, just pray this prayer. Give God the key again so that you can get back in. And everybody else, you make up the third group. You're going to pray it to encourage the first group and the second group. Are we ready? All three groups, repeat after me, phrase by phrase. Dear God, I come to you today, and I admit that I'm not perfect. God, I ask you to forgive me for all my faults, for all my flaws, for all my failures. God, I thank you for standing in for me so that I can begin again. And right now, I give you my key so that you can gain entry. I want you to pitch in, take off any limits, and help me change things up. If you've prayed that prayer, you're part of the first group or the second group. I want you to raise your hand so I can see it. First group of the second group, put your hands up so I can see it. Got one over here. First group of the second group, you've prayed that prayer. Put your hands up so I can see it, because it's a lot of people in here. Keep your hands up, that's it. Keep your hands up as high as you can so I can see it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep your hands up, put your hands up. You're part of the first group or the second group. 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep your hands up. 9. Keep your hands up so I can see it. 10. 11. Put your hands down. About 11 people have raised their hands, but there's more of you in this room prayed that prayer for the first time or a sign of getting back on track. I'm going to count down 10 seconds, and I'm going to say this before I count down 10 seconds. The rest of you who's not prayed that prayer, you're going to put your hands up. And I'm going to say, park your pride outside. Put it in your pocket, put it in your jacket, do something with it. Get it out of the way. Don't let your pride stop you connecting with the Creator this morning. So if you prayed that prayer, the 11 people who's raised your hands, you don't need to raise it again, but there's more of you in this room. As I count down 10 seconds, it's giving you 10 extra seconds if you've not raised your hand already. Anybody else? 10. 1 here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your hands raised. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep your hands raised. Keep your hands raised. 11. 12 over here. Put your hands down. 11 more. But I'm going to still keep counting down. Anybody else? 8. Anybody else? If you've not raised your hand already, raise it. 8, 7, 6. Park your pride outside. Anybody else? 5, 4, 3, 2. Got you there? Got you over there? Anybody else? About 21 people. I'm going to count to 3. On the point of 3, you're going to leave your seats wherever you sat. If you didn't put your hand up, you can still leave your seats. You're going to come down to the front here, to this corner and to that corner. Why? Well, I've brought some packs with me. Inside each of those packs, there's a booklet for you to take home and for you to read that's been wrote by a friend of mine called J. John. There's also a little card in there with a QR code. I want you to scan that when you get home. And that'll take you to a video, and I explain, what did I do next after praying that prayer? That's for you to take home with you, and someone from the church is going to come and stand with you for a few minutes. So all those people who raised your hands, I counted 21 or 22, but I think there might have been a few more because there's a lot of people in the room, which is a good thing. But if on the point of 3, if you prayed that prayer, you're part of the first group or the second group, you put your hands up or you didn't, you can come down to either of these corners. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. You come down as quickly as you can now. That's right, you come down. You come, all those people who raise their hands, if you come down here to these corners, that's right, you keep coming down. You keep coming down. You keep coming down. You keep coming down. Young kids, got young kids coming down. Keep coming down. Isn't that fantastic? Young people, keep coming down. Keep coming down. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming down. Keep coming down. Yes, young people coming around the back. Keep coming down. Keep coming round. Keep coming round. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Keep coming down. Keep coming. Keep coming.